IT consultant. I'm a developer, I'm a data analyst and cybersecurity specialist. You are looking for a platform to acquire tech skills right from your comfort home without leaving your home. There is a platform called Digital. This platform is made up of professionals, including myself, with not less than 19 years experience in. Now, in case you want to know whether we have done it before, because at Digital we believe in action and outcome. Action and the outcome speak louder as far we are concerned. So I want you to relax and hear these students sharing their experience with Mr. Prosper.
Hello everyone. My name is Ezano Chechidera Quinet and I am currently studying data analytics in NIIT Asaba. And the name of my tutor is Mr. Prosper Egwero. And my experience has been amazing. It's been an awesome experience because Mr. Prosper is not just a teacher, he's a very practical person. It's amazing because having gone through a series of training with him, I can really say one or two things about him. He's not just a tutor, he's not just a teacher, but he's very practical, he's very friendly. His class management is top notch. He's amazing because I I I look forward to being in class like every day. Like when it's time for me to go to class, I look forward because there's no dull moment. It's a very interactive class. There are a lot of homeworks, projects to do. They're more of interactive. It's not just one-sided. So he's a very good tutor, and it's been amazing just being in class and having him as my tutor. It's really been an amazing experience, and I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Prosper Egwero, for being who you are and more grace and more strength to continue doing what you love doing. Thank you so much for imparting more into me and cheers.
All right, so good morning once again. We of assessing what we have done so far. I'm very sure that we have done our Excel assignments, the project, right? Yes, sir. Okay, so like I said, after some time, I will ask for the presentation of that project. But for now, let's proceed to the next application. So today we are looking at general introductions to Python for data analytics. Data analytics with Python programming. Now, I would like to say a few things so I will know why all these programs are recommended for us as data analysts and scientists. Excel has some limitation, which I pointed out the other time. Excel is not actually made for large data analysis. So there's a limit of record a single Excel sheet can process. And once it gets to, let's say, above 1 million, the worksheet can start slagging. So that is why we are advised to go beyond knowing Excel for data analysis. Excel is not actually for machine learning. It's just for general analysis and statistical analysis. When we talk about machine learning, then we should be talking about Python programming, R programming. These are the two most used or recommended machine learning languages. So let's start with what is the Python. So I'll quickly run through some fundamentals of Python before we delve into applying it for analyzing data. So just to clarify this, Python is used both for data analysis and for machine learning. But the one your program cover is just for analysis, not for machine learning. So we are going to look at the aspect of Python that is used for data analysis only. So what is Python programming? Python is a high-level interpreted programming language that is widely used for various purposes, such as web development, scientific computing, data analysis, artificial intelligence, and more. So these are some areas Python can be used outside the data analysis. You can see, as I've mentioned on the slide, we use Python with the help of a library, or let's say a framework called the Django, for back-end implementation of a website. So Python has a lot of libraries that can be plugged into different sectors. That is why it looks as if Python is everywhere, because it has standard and vast libraries that can be used or applied in various aspects of technology. So that is one of the main reasons why you are hearing Python left and right. Unlike other programming language, which does not have library for other things outside their core purposes. But for Python, it has libraries for data analysis, like as we are going to be experiencing in the course of this training. We are not going to use pure Python, but we are using its libraries. In other words, we are using the functions programmed by Python to analyze data. That is the difference between someone who is learning pure Python as a programming language, probably with the intention of using Python for building applications, and you that is learning Python for analyzing data. You are leveraging on those libraries that were created by Python. Now, the word library means the collection of functions, a pieces of software that is embodying functions, that is wrapping functions inside it. And that is why we, as data analysts, we consult these libraries, because we need functions at one point or the other to be able to analyze, to perform analysis, and to perform data cleaning, to perform data visualization. So we need functions to be able to do all this. All these functions we need, they are already pre-written and stored in Python library. And that is why what we do, we import those libraries into the platform that is holding our data in Python, which is called Jupyter Notebook. So we need to understand that we are not using the pure Python language, but we are leveraging on the library created by Python, where we can access different functions for performing our analysis. I hope you are getting, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I also mentioned other aspects where Python is widely applied or used outside the web development and the data analysis. The artificial intelligence, that is one of the main aspects. The generative AI, all these chatbots, which we know as ChatGPT and the rest of them, they are actually built on Python because of its intelligence. So it's very intelligent, and that is why it's most used language in modern technology, both hardware and software. Okay, so that's just to highlight us on what Python as the language we want to use for analyzing data is all about. So let's quickly look at some of the key features of Python. So some of these key features will now begin to depict why you see everybody tilting towards Python direction as a programming language. So one of the reasons why you see these days programmer eager to learn Python over other languages like Java, C++, PHP, and the rest of them. Because one is that Python is very easy to learn. It's very easy to learn. Very easy to learn. So Python has a simple syntax. Python has a simple syntax and is relatively easy to learn. Very easy to learn. That is the reason why you don't need to be a core programmer before you can actually apply Python for analyzing data, because it has very simple syntax. You are going to see it. It's more even friendly than the Excel that you are using if you are persistent, if you are committed, if you are ready to learn the language. Is you enjoy analyzing data with Python than Excel. So it has a very simple syntax. Now, there are some terms we need to understand in programming, because this is programming now. What you are learning since under Excel is not programming. You are actually learning an application that is used for analyzing data. That application you were learning was actually developed by a programming language called the COBOL, Common Business Oriented Language, which is the language that's used or that is used to develop spreadsheet application. So what we are learning in Excel is not a programming language. So why am I saying this? So that you know that at this point, you have to increase your commitment level. If while you were learning Excel, you used to practice once, this is a programming language. So you need to double the number of times you practice. That is just the point I'm trying to bring in here. Because programming language is just this. The reason why anybody going into programming for the very first time, it is 100% certain that the person will surely face some difficulties. Because programming has some attribute or some characteristics. And when beginners begin to experience some of these attributes, then they feel discouraged at the beginning, because they are coming from the background of learning applications, which are very easy, user-friendly. It's just like you learning a language like Hausa. You cannot tell me that the first day you start learning that language, you become guru at it. It's not possible. It's not possible, no matter how smart you are. you will definitely have some difficulty at the beginning. But the best way you learn programming language is to take it step by step. Start from the basic. Learn come, learn go. Then before you start learning how to join, come and go. So despite that, we say that it has a very simple syntax. There are some terms we will start using which are programming terms. When we use the word syntax in programming, what does that mean? The word syntax means set of rules that governs the speaking of that language. Every language has some rules. Igbo language have rules. Hausa language have rules. If you must learn those languages, then you must follow the syntax. You must follow the rules. So when we say it has a very simple syntax, we are saying that the format of writing Python code is very simple. Why? Because it's similar to the way English language is written. So you cannot see the reason why you see people that don't want to learn difficult programming languages are choosing to learn Python, not necessarily because it is the AI language. It might just be because they said it is very simple to learn. It is very simple to learn. And one thing in tech, most time, the simple things does not earn you money. So we should bear that in mind. If you are breaking into tech and your mindset is those things that are very easy to settle for, they are the only things you want to learn. The money is not there. The money are there, but that particular domain is saturated. You will see a lot of professionals there. The competition level will be very high. So when you break into tech, start from the basic, but have a plan of advancing to those areas that people are running from that are useful to the society. So Python is very simple to learn, but application of it in data analysis is not that simple. Application of it in web development is not that simple. So though the pure language itself is easy. So even for those without prior programming experience can learn Python. That is one of the key features. The second key feature is what I also mentioned in my definition, high-level language. When a program is referred to as high-level language, what does that mean? It means that what? It abstracts away many low-level details, allowing developers to focus on the logic of their program. So there are a lot of things that have been taken care of, which are not taken care of if you are using the low-level what? Languages, like Visual Basic Unit, Basic Programming Language, that's VBA. So most of those ones, they are basic, they are low-level language. But when we talk about Python, it's a high-level language, which means that a lot of things that will make it difficult for you as a learner will be automatically taken care of. So sometimes when we say modern languages like Python, they are dynamically typed languages, which means that they are language that you don't need to declare data type functions. You'll get to know that as we proceed. Data type function, before the language understand the type of data you are working with. So these are some of the attributes of high-level language. So Python is one of them. Python is OOPS. When I say OOPS, that is OOP. Object-oriented programming language. These are the languages that are out there now, unlike the old languages. So interpreted language, that is another key attribute of Python. Python code is interpreted
line by line, making it easier to write and test code. Line by line. So when you read Python code, it starts from the top. For example, now if you write like 20 lines of codes in Python, when you execute the code, the program starts executing reading those code line by line. So which means that it executes those lines independently. So in other words, the execution of the first line does not affect the execution of the second line. So if something is wrong with your first line of code, does not mean that it will not execute what? The next line of code. So when it gets to that code, that line of code, it might point out the error there while it proceeds to execute the other lines of code. But there are some languages whereby, because there is a problem with one, it affects what? Others. So that is what we are saying. Then the fourth one, which is the main reason why we love Python so much as data analysts, it is because it provides us different libraries that can be used for analyzing data and also used for data science, which is the machine learning you are hearing out there. So the difference between a machine learner and someone who is learning Python for analysis is that they are using different library provided by the same Python, while the data science person use more complex library to perform his own analysis. You as a data analyst, you are using, the peripheral languages or libraries, the ones that are not that more difficult, like those ones. So that is one of the key features of what? Python, large standard library. Python has a vast collection of libraries and modules that makes it suitable for a wide range of applications. Cross-platform, which means that you can run Python on Windows, you can run it on Mac computer. Python can run almost in every platform or operating system. So these are some of the key features of Python, which I just want us to understand. So why Python for data analysis? Why did we even choose it? Why Python for data analysis? Python is widely recommended for data analysis due to its simplicity, flexibility, and extensive libraries. I've just mentioned that. Why I am choosing Python as analyst? Because I know that through Python, I have libraries that offers me bunch of functions that I'm going to be using to draw insights from any given what? Data set. So I have those functions as the solution to some of the challenges I am going to what? Encounter. So that is one of the reasons why you choose what? Python. Now remember, when I started, I said what? The core reason or another main reason, which is not mentioned here, is that Python can exploit large data sets because there is a library called NumPy that supports exploring large data. Excel, as we found out, Excel can only handle 1,048,576 records per sheet. But in Python, no limits. No limit at all. Let the data volume be up to billion. Python will load it without blinking eyes. You will not see anything loading like I said. Everything will just come up like speed of light. That is another reason why you should choose Python. Now, let me make it like this. If you are employed tomorrow, or you are given a data set that is up to 3 million records in it, and you are asked to analyze it, do you know that you don't need to even consider Excel for some, because Excel cannot analyze or process more than 1,048,000 and that's 576 records per sheet. You are not asked to split it into different sheets. So you will not say that out of that 3 million, you want to allocate 1 million to one sheet, another 1 million. No, everything needs to be in a single file. So which means that what? At that point, Excel is automatically what? Disqualified. That's the reason why you have to learn Python. Out of all the tools out there, Python is the only one that can process unlimited number of records. So it's very what? Simple, and it offers us what? Large data libraries or extensive library. So like I stated in my slide, I said what extensive libraries, Python has a vast collection of libraries and tools are specifically designed for data analysis. Specifically designed for data analysis. So we are still on why we should consider Python for data analysis. Now, I just mentioned libraries now. So here I'm breaking down some of the libraries that are more useful to you as a data analyst using Python. Number one is NumPy. And I'm trying to, at the same time, explain the role of this library. What are they going to do for us? As we import them into the platform, we shall be using to hold the data for analysis. So the NumPy provides support for large. So you can see, like I just said now, so the reason why Python can pull large data sets is because there is a library with a collection of functions called what? NumPy that provides support for large multi-dimensional array and metrics. Pandas offers data structure and functions for efficiently handling structured data. Matplotlib, a popular data visualization library, when we get to the aspect of using Python to plot graphs, we are going to consult that library. Scikit-learn provide algorithm for machine learning, which is not part of your program. That is for machine learning, which is the data science. So I have said it before that the difference between you and a data science or scientist is that you all use the same Python, but you use some library, use a common library and different core libraries. While a data analyst will be focusing on 1, 2, 3, a data scientist will go beyond even all this. Data scientists will use all this and still use this and even more of this. So here I want to talk about what? Installation. So for you to use Python for analyzing data, what are the softwares you need to install in your computer? Just like before you started using Excel, you have to install Excel. So for you to use Python, there are packages you need to install in your computer. And some of these packages, they are very heavy. If your system configuration does not meet the standard, you may not be able to run them. Just a minute. All right. So there is a software that houses almost everything you need. A single software, once you install it, it gives you access to other sub-functions you need for analysis. And that software is called Anaconda. So Anaconda is a free open source distribution of Python programming language. What does that mean? It means that it's a single software as a package that you install that provides services that empowers other software that you need, including the platform you are going to use to hold your data before you can start using this libraries function to analyze it. All of them can be accessed through this Anaconda, including the IDE you are going to be using to write your Python code. The word IDE in this case means integrated development environment. Every programmer needs an IDE to be able to write a program. If you are a Java programmer, you need an IDE, Java Studio, or you need an IDE called Visual Studio Code. You are a web developer, you need an IDE, Visual Studio Code, to write your code. Every programmer needs a platform to write his or her code. Just like when you want to write letter, you need text editor like Microsoft Word before you can write the letter electronically. So as we are going into programming, we need to have an idea of this IDE. But there are customized IDE, or there is a customized IDE for us as data analysts. So we are not going to use the conventional IDE. We have the one that is customized just for you as a data analyst to use Python to analyze data. So those are the ones I'm going to be focusing on, not the core programming IDE, the one that pertains to what we want to use Python for. So I want us to see Anaconda as a Python distribution package. That is what it provides us different what programs that are from Python. So it's going to act as a server. What do I mean by server? Server in this case means a software that is providing services to other software. So which means that what? Once we install it, is one that will be empowering others to function within it. Is the one providing them services. So how do we install it? I have already installed it, but I'm just going to go through it so that you can follow that same step to install your own, probably before the next class, because I am not sure that you can actually what? Start the installation and complete the installation before the end of this particular section. So I'm going to do as if I have not installed it so that you can understand the entire process. So all you need to do to install the Anaconda, like I started by defining, I said what is a free open source. When an application is described as free open source, it means that you don't pay for it. It is free to obtain from the internet. That's what it means. So since it is free, the only thing we need to install it is to buy data. So you go to your browser, you open your browser, let's say Google Chrome or any other browser you have out there. Now from here, you just simply type download. Download Anaconda. it will bring you to this page. So from this page, this is the website. Download Anaconda distribution. You click on this first option. You can either click here or you click on the URL direct. And that will request for your email address, because what is happening here is that they are doing email marketing. That is for you to download it free. Give us your email. So what they are going to do with your email is to be updating you. So whenever there is any program designed by this programmer, we now be sending you email messages as an update. So this is email marketing. It is free, but just give us your email. So you supply your email here, let's say this, and then you click on I agree. Agree to receive communication from what? Anaconda. So they are trying to adopt data protection law, so that by tomorrow you will not come up and say that they use your information wrongly. You are the one that want to benefit from them by getting their software, and they are also taking advantage of you, that let's have your email for email marketing. So once you click on this, they will now send a link to your email. So once you click, you will see them saying that a link has been sent to your email for you to continue the download. Now, if, for example, I don't want to send them my email, then I will just click on what? Skip registration. But what I have found out recently, that when you go through this option, the application will work only the first time you open it. After that, the next time you try to open it, it will not work. So that is their own way of disciplining you for not going through the normal channel. So please advise us what to go through, or giving them your email so that you can be allowed to download the genuine copy. Now they have sent that link to my email. So once you go to your email, you are going to see it, and then you click on the download button there. What you see in your email is just what? Download button. Once you click, it will download. And once it's finished downloading, where are you expected to see the file before you can start your installation? You open your file explorer, and then you go to download folder. So whatever you download from the internet automatically goes to your default download, except you change the directory. So from here, all the files are downloaded. They are all here. So let me show us that Anaconda. This is how it will show. Anaconda, the version, then for your window architecture, 86 or 64-bit. So what you need to do is just to double click on it. Once you have downloaded it, you double click on it, just to show us how to install it. So like I said, it's a very heavy application. If you manage to install it and you don't have enough system memory, don't be surprised when you start noticing your system appearing to be slow. So this is how it will open. Then you now click on next. Then you now click on agree. Then you now click on next. Then continue clicking on next. Once it gets to where you have installed, this option, don't activate them. Just make sure that you are only on this first one and click on install. So once you click on install, it will take some time depending on your system speed. if your system memory, I mean the RAM, if it's within 4 gig, it will take up to like almost 40 to 1 hour before it completes the installation. Why? Because it's coming with over 250 packages. Remember, I told her that what the Anaconda is a package manager. So once you install it, it allows you to access different packages what inside it. So that's the reason why it makes your system to be very slow. And that is why it takes time before it can install. So once you start your installation, you are going to see buttons here. You see next, you see back, and then you will see cancel. Then while the installation is on, your nests will not be active. So which means that it will not appear like this, to be very painted. It's going to be faded. It's not going to be smart like this. So once it is showing like that, then you have to wait. Once that nest is not active, once it's active, then you can now click on the nest and then select what finish. So once you have completed it, you will now have it installed. So next time you want to open it, when you come to your search, and then you type ANA, you will see this Anaconda Navigator. So once you can find it, it means that you have successfully installed the Anaconda. So all you need to do is just to open it. So now, because I've installed, even the opening process will take some time, depending on your system speed as well. So let's give it some time to open. So while we are waiting for it to open, if you have. So once you have clicked once, you have to wait, because at times it can take like 5 to 6 minutes before it starts showing you this icon you are seeing to show that it's coming up. So when you are now aware of this, you continue clicking, and then that can make the program to crash. So once you have clicked once, no matter how it's wasting time, you have to wait. So this is how it will open. Now, because you are not using a licensed version, so that's why you are having this kind of information, and it's also telling you to upgrade to the pro version. So you just click on, don't click on yes, click on what? No, remind me later. Now, these are the packages we are talking about. So click on this to remove this. So these are the packages we are talking about. You can see a whole lot of them. Now, all these packages, they are not meant for only you to consume. Most of them does the same thing. It's just like for different purposes. So you choose the one that pertains to what you want to use Python for. For us, we are going to use what? This Jupyter notebook. This is going to act as our spreadsheet, which holds data for us in Excel. So this is going to be used to hold every data we want to analyze, must be called into this platform. Then all the libraries that are going to offer us functions for analyzing the data this will be holding for us will also be imported into that same what platform. So this is how to open it. So the next thing I want to teach us is, after I have been able to open my Anaconda, how do I launch the Jupyter Notebook, which is the IDE we are using in this case. Remember, I told us about ID, Integrated Development Environment. In other words, the environment in which you are going to write your Python code. So how do we open it? So once you have opened your Anaconda, you must open the Anaconda before you can access it, because it's one of those packages Python Anaconda manages. So you click on it. Once you click, it's going to open on a browser as if you have internet. You don't need internet before you launch your notebook. You can look at the definition: a web-based interactive computing notebook environment that allow you to edit and run human readable documents while describing the data analysis. So it's going to open on a browser. So it also takes some time. So you still have to wait for it to open. So all you need to do is just to be observing the browsers you have. Once it pop up with a browser here, you can see it now. It's still opening. Good. So this is how the Jupyter Notebook will open. So this environment we are right now is called the Jupyter Notebook directory. Directory means storages in this case, just like the way you have your desktop as directory where you can save your file, you have documents, you have other directories. So this is Jupyter Notebook homepage. In other words, the landing page where you can now determine what you do from here. So once it opens like this, the next thing you are expected to do is to go to the main directory. Let's assume that I am on desktop and I want my analysis document to be on desktop. So whatever storage you want to use, if it is my desktop, if it is document, if it is local disk, you go in there. But right now, I want my analysis document to be on desktop. So I will right-click somewhere there, make a folder. I can name that folder stats class. Now, in Python, whenever you are using two words, always learn to put underscore. So this is where all the data, the code, all the resources that I am going to be using to train us, this is where they will be stored. That is what I just did now. So peradventure, maybe after some time, I want to continue my analysis with another computer. So I don't have to, once I install Anaconda in that computer, all I need to do is just to get my folder here, maybe in my flash drive. And when I get there, I put it on what? That system, what? Desktop. Then from there, I will just call my analysis notebook directly from this particular folder. So all the data I want to analyze, I will make sure that I put them here. So let's look at some data we would like to work with. So I have some data here. I would like to work with this data. So let me take them. I'm going to work with this, work with this, work with this. Copy. Then go to that folder, right click, and then paste it. So once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to go back to my Anaconda, the notebook that we opened. Go back to the home page of your Jupyter notebook. So from here, remember that your folder was created on desktop. So what I'm going to do, I am going to double click on this desktop just to show that what I'm already in what desktop now directory. Then from there, I will locate that folder I created, which is sat_class. So I'll locate it here. I should be able to find it here. This is it. Now, open that folder by double clicking. Now, you now see the items you added. Now, from here, you will now create a notebook. That is what? The development environment, where you are going to write your code, where you are going to load your data, where you are going to import the library that will be used for manipulating that data. You have to create it because right now we are still in the Jupyter Notebook homepage, which comprises of different directories, and of which we have selected what? Desktop as our storage, and then our sub storage, which is a folder residing in that what? Directory. Now you now go to new, click on new. Once you click on new, you will see this option. The one you need is Python 3. That is the current Python version. So which comes with the notebook. So you click on it. So once you click, it's going to add the file here. It's going to redirect you automatically to the development environment. So if you wait for some time and it does not redirect you, all you need to do is to double click on it. So when you double click, it will now open the notebook. So finally, this is our development environment. As a data analyst, anything you want to do, all the data you want to analyze, all your code must be in this environment. So this is the IDE that I spoke about that is customized for us as data analysts or data scientists for us to be able to what? To use Python to analyze data. So the next thing I'm going to show us is how to rename it. Or let me tag it what? The notebook management. The notebook management. So I'm going to be using comments to explain whatever I'll be doing going forward. So what is comment in programming? Comments are used for interpreting your codes, either to yourself or to the third party. Let's say you are working in an office and you are working in a team whereby you do certain aspects, then another person would continue from where you stop. So how do you explain your own part of code to the third party when the code is eventually what? Given to such a person? That is why whatever you are doing, use comment to tell the person this is what this code is created for. So how do I write comments? Across all programming languages, we use comments. Think of any language you are learning, you are going to be using comments. It's a standard rule that every programmer must obey. So, but across all programming language, there are different ways of commenting. In Python, how do we comment? To comment, you hold down the shift button on your keyboard. There is a key written what? Shifts. Hold it down and press 3, letter 3. It will give you this sign. So once you can see this sign, it means that whatever you write after it is a comment. Comments are not executable by any programming language. In other words, when you write code, you execute the code, you run the code to know whether the code will produce the expected what result. Now, when we say comments are not executable, it means that you don't, as in the language itself, the program itself does not mind the comment. That is the meaning. It does not take into recognition the comments. It does not see them as part of what it should work on, because they are only for explanation of the code to you or to another person. So now what do I want to do? Jupyter notes book management. So there are certain skills you need to have as regarding to the management of this application, this environment you are, before you can start using it to analyze data. It's just like when somebody want to teach you how to use Microsoft Word, the first thing he or she is going to do is to teach you how you can familiarize yourself with the Microsoft Word environment. And that is what I want to quickly do now. Now, the first thing you should know is how to rename the notebook. How to rename the notebook. How to rename the notebook. Because right now, your notebook is showing what? Untitled. If, for example, I open this notebook because I want to analyze Peter data, when I want to analyze another customer data, I am not supposed to use this same notebook. Each data I want to analyze for two different people are expected to have what? Different notebook. So how do I differentiate? Because all of them will be stored in that what? Folder here. They will be stored here. You can see that it's currently showing what? Untitled. So whenever I want to exploit them, how do I know the difference between the first one? That is why you need to name it. So once all you need is just to click on that place where you have untitled, and then it will output this. You see, everything that comes after the dots is defining the language extension, the file format, which is what? IP, that is Python what? Notebook. So you have no business of changing anything here. Make sure while naming your notebook, you don't tamper with this particular aspect. So that aspect that is highlighted by default, you just press your backspace key to delete it and add your name. So if I am saying, for example, first analysis, you can see this is what I was saying. Python is not friendly with space. Anytime you are using double words to describe anything, Python expects that what you add what? Underscore, please. That is the standard. Underscore should be there. Then you now click on what? Rename. So if you go back to where you were seeing untitled, it will have changed to what? To that name. So now you have uniquely identified what? This particular what? Notebook. So the next thing I want to show us is how you can convert your comment to a note. This is comment. Now I want to convert it to what? A plain text. Because you are going to need all this when you start writing down your observations. And probably your recommendation. Each time you finish analyzing, before you go to your slide where you do probably where you present the executive report, add soon as you finish analyzing one section, you are expected to use notes here to note down your findings. So later you can probably take them to your PowerPoint and organize them as your executive report. So how do you convert comments to notes? Now, to do that, we are going to apply different logic. Number one, we are going to stop the cursor from blinking. And to stop the cursor from blinking, we simply press escape button on your keyboard to locate. There is a place where you have your escape. These are things we should know. To press escape, once you press escape, you can see that something happened. Automatically, you have stopped the cursor from blinking. So the cursor is no longer, the whole of that cell, the whole of that row is now switched from live code mode to what? To offline mode. That is why right now you are seeing this color. If I click now, you can see that what? This is live code mode. Once I press what? Escape, this is no longer what? Live code mode. So I've stopped the cursor from blinking. Once you have done that, the next thing you type letter M for mother, M. Once you press M, you see that what? The appearance of the text change. Then you will now press Shift and Enter. You see, with this, I have just converted it to what? To notes. So I can write multi-line text inside that cell. Then I will do this, in other words, for them to be converted to what? To notes. Now, I want to show us something. Let's say I want to write another note so that I can do it again. Now, each time you write this, you space. Let's say what? Welcome to my Python class. Remember, escape, letter M, something happened now. This is what I want us to know. When I press letter M the other time, it did not change to this color. Why? Because after typing that hash, there was no space. You can see you made them together. So the right way is that after the hash, you space, then press letter M, then Shift and Enter. You can see this is a pure note. That other one was not pure note because the other one is still carrying the what? The hash. So if you want it to be a pure note, then remember you type the hash and then space first before you type escape, before you type letter M, and then before you type Shift and what? Enter. So this is how to convert comment to notes. So this note could be after I have analyzed my data. I found out that this particular variable did this, did that, and this is also what I also noticed. You quickly what? Write it as a comment, and then you now convert it to what? A note like this before you continue answering the next question. So when you are through all these comments that you are putting here, you will now start what? Taking them, assembling them, and then that is what you will now present as your final report or executive report that will be tendered to the non-technical personnel that will guide them in making decisions. So we are still on what? The Jupyter Notebook management. We are learning how I can navigate. I have just taught us two things. One, how to rename it, how to comment, and how to three different things we have learned now. How to rename it, how to write comment, and how to convert comments to notebook or notes, let's say plain text. So the next thing I want to show us is how to delete an entire cell. For example, now I want to delete this cell. All I need to do is just to click inside the cell, and then you will see this button here. This delete. Click on it. That is all. I want to delete this. Click on it. That is all. Then if I want to insert another cell, let's say we are learning Python for data analysis. I want to add another cell. If you press Shift button down and hit the Enter button, it will give you what? Another cell, which means that you executed the current one, and then you ask for another cell. But let's assume that I delete this one, and I just want to execute it. I will just click here. This is another option. Click on this icon here. That is the command for executing your code. And each time you execute your code, if a number does not show in this particular square bracket, just know that you have not initialized that particular cell. So whatever you must have written in that cell has not been initiated in the program. That is what it means. So like now, you have not executed anything here. If I run it now, it will show what? Nothing has been executed there. So what I'm saying is that I want to delete this. I want to delete this also. And I've executed this, and I need the extra row. So how do I add it? Now look at these two icons. One is to allow you to add above, while the other one is to add below. So you determine, I want the one I want to add to come above the current one, then I will choose this. If I want it to come under the current one, then I will choose this. So after you have added all these rows, if you want to change the order, let's say you want this one to become the first one, you click inside that cell, you use this icon word to move it. You want to also move it down, you use this word to move it. Then you want to duplicate it, you click here. So all these have their own function. It's just for you to know how to use them. So these are the things you should know before you can think of, I want to bring in data here for analysis. You need to have this basic knowledge on how to manage the notebook that is going to help you to hold your data and also help you to integrate the libraries where you can access functions for analyzing or speaking to the data. So any questions so far, please? Any questions so far?
Well, it's okay. It's clear. Then I think with time, we're still going to go through this in the video again for doing the installation of this and that. But so far, I think it's clear to me.
Okay. Mr. Dolly, hope you are here with us.
Yes, I am. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. So how are we doing? Hope we are following also.
Yeah, the same sentiment with him. It requires a patient review of what you have said, because, like you rightly noted at the beginning, we are just newcomers. Whatever you are saying requires patient study. Otherwise, we'll just be assuming we know what we don't know. But it's clear, yes, explanations are clear, but one needs to go through it carefully.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So I think I will just do one more thing, and then we will stop here today. Then we will continue from where we stop in our next class. So what I actually want to achieve today is, we know what Python is. We know the application to install for us to use it for data analysis. And then we know how to create the development environment, which is this environment. and then know how to use it, how to familiarize ourselves with the environment, and then I stop there. So the next class, I will start by loading in those library and also loading in data. And then probably if there's time, we still look at how to perform data cleaning, because there are steps by steps we need to follow, just like we did in Excel. When we started with Excel, being an application, we were also taught how to create data. And then after that, we started learning how to use some functions to work on those data. And then started learning how to access those core functions. That is how it is here. So the first class is for you to know what Python is, know the packages you need to install, and then know how to create your development environment, which is this, and then learn how to use it. So I'm just going to do one more thing. Once I'm done with that, I think we can then stop here. So I'm going to make the video available. Take time to go through it. From now to Saturday, it's a long period of time that you can use to master it. Watch the video, make sure that you install the application step by step, all these things, pause the video and try them. Make sure that you understand them before we proceed. I think I should even stop here. I think I've touched all the major things. Okay, I still have one more thing to show us. Now, when you are writing function in Python, for example, you write what? Let's say I want to declare a variable, which we are going to talk about better in our next class. But because I need it to illustrate what I want to explain now. So it's not as if I have started explaining it. So let's say I have my name stored in a variable called name, and then my name is Prosper. And then I want to display this Prosper to the users. If I write print, that is a function in Python we use for outputting our results. Then I will supply what? The name. Then if I run it now, you can see that what? It will output the name in the variable. Like I said, we have not started looking at variable, but I just want to use to explain something. Now, you will notice that when I type the prints, because you will observe it in your own parts there, because you have not programmed it, what I'm about to show you. If you type Shift and 9, trying to open the bracket, it will not come with both the opening and the closing bracket at the same time. Your own might just open the what? The opening bracket, then you now hold down the Shift and press 0 before you get the what? The closing bracket. Now, how did I achieve this? In a way that each time I open the bracket, it will give me the closing bracket. I went to setting, and then you can see it here. So if I turn this off, next time I do print and I press this, you can see it now. It's no longer giving me what? The closing bracket, until I manually type Shift and 0 before it will close it. But once I program it in a way that it should be closing automatically. So next time I type print, you see that what? It gives me what? The closing bracket automatically. So this is where I stop. So I want to beg us to get to this particular interface. In fact, this time around, I want to be strict with this particular class, because some of us, let me use the words, we are waiting for the video. That is why I said in the group that I'm not going to be sending the video. The way I'm going to be sending it now, I will send the link to only those that attend the class. They are the only people that I'm going to be sending the video link to. I'm not going to be sending to everybody any longer because there should be need for you to be here. That is why we call it live Zoom class. If people want me to record the classes, that was even better for me. I can just sit down and record. But sometimes students will ask questions that will lead to expanding the scope of your training. That is the reason why I prefer to go live. It's more even stressful than recording video, but I feel this one is more impactful. So I said it before, if you encourage the teacher, this program will have ended 6 weeks ago. But I decided to say that because most of you that are here, you are my brothers and sisters, let me go beyond that. So I shouldn't be begging people for all the classes. It was Friday and Saturday before. I removed Friday because I was tired of each time I come, people are not here. It's not good at all for me to program my alarm. Okay, I want to wake up so time, deny myself from the sleep, and then getting here, nobody is here. So that is why I have resolved that going forward, even if it is one person, I will continue. So please, let's encourage ourselves. I will be proud of you tomorrow that somebody that I trained, you are doing well, just like the way you also be proud of me as your teacher. So I want us to get it well. That is just my joy. Anybody that I'm training, my first target is that let the person be good. That is how you can be a good father. If your children are still living under you, you are not a good father. Your children should be able to live outside your roof on their own. So please, I'm begging. I know that Victory and Mr. Jolly, you are committed. But I'm actually saying this. Peradventure, they called me and they asked me for the video and they promised that they will repent. And I send them the video so that they will hear this part. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then before Mr. Jolly join, I talk about the project. Mr. Jolly, how far have you gone with your project? Your